Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here, and we've got actually three examples of why did my business fail? I just don't understand it. Man tax. New York pharmacy charges men 7% more than women. Now, you can see here this is an older article, 13 October of 2016. A pharmacy has sparked controversy by charging an extra 7% to its male customers. Thompson's Chemist in Soho, New York, posted signs on its windows stating all female customers shop tax free and all male customers are subject to a 7% man tax. A photo of the signs sparked fierce debate on Reddit and Facebook and was shared hundreds of thousands of times. The chemist told the BBC, chemist in British, it would be pharmacist. The chemist told the BBC that the move was intended to highlight the pink tax after a recent study found female beauty products were 7% more expensive than their male equivalents. The study found an even wider gap for adult clothes and personal care products. We wanted to share that women deserve to get a break and men deserve to be charged 7% more. Women are spending more in general and we make less, so we deserve to have a break, Aloni told the Daily Dot. We thought it'd be a great idea with all the political things going on, with Clinton being such a woman and the other guy and his womanizing, Aloni said. Online reactions to the man tax has been passionate, with many accusing the chemist of reverse sexism. One Imager user, and I would just like to say this is one of about 5 times I've actually seen Imager referenced in the news in the last few years. One Imager user said, "This is exactly why this new age feminism isn't liked. Feminism is about equality. This isn't." Meanwhile, others have supported the move. Thompson Chemist's owner, Jolie Aloni, took to Facebook to point out that the sign is in fact misleading because she was actually charging normal rates to men but deducting the sales tax for women and funding it from her own pocket. So, if she's to be believed, the 7% man tax is just the state income tax, or possibly state and city combination, because of course de Blasio is not happy unless he's able to tax you too. Women would just be refunded or have the price of the tax taken out, and she's just eating the cost. But it ignores something that's very important. The, the simple fact that men's beauty products would be bar soap, shaving cream, and shampoo. Maybe some beard balm. If I ever grow this out more than what I've got, I may have to start using some product on it. But when you look at this, and granted, the example I'm coming with here is about 15 years old, but uh, the one time that I actually looked at this, it's while I was dating a young woman in around 2004. She and I were shopping. I had just moved into a new apartment, so had she. So we're picking up all the normal stuff at the local store: toilet paper, paper towels, toothbrushes, mouthwash, all of this stuff. She and I both used Sensodyne because both of us had sensitive teeth. I still do. Fortunately, she passed away several years ago. Both of us used Lever 2000 due to skin allergies. Both of us used Listerine. Both of us used the $1.50 to $2 toothbrushes. You'll notice I'm saying both of us in all of those scenarios. For deodorant, when you look at Degree versus Dove or another one, the price is generally very, very close. Where you see differences would be in, say, shampoo and conditioner. I used Head and Shoulders. As you can see, I keep my hair very short. I joked that 1970s fashion died for a reason. My hair is so thick and curly still at 42 years old that if I don't cut it, I look like someone going out to a disco in the 1970s. And the afro does not look good on me. So I keep my hair in virtually a military or law enforcement style buzz cut. It means that I don't have to have much shampoo at all to wash my hair, but because of its thickness, I do need Head and Shoulders. I pay around $5 a bottle, and that's for the normal size. I don't ever buy the big ones. On the other hand, she used Herbal Essences, about $7 a bottle, and she bought two because she chose to. I'm bringing this up and I only know this because I went and got all of the rest of the stuff, with toilet paper, tissues, toothbrushes, all of these things. Came back later with a buggy full to find her still in the shampoo aisle, sniffing each bottle's contents because she needed to know which one she wanted her hair to smell like. Now, she was a very intelligent, very well spoken, and very logical woman. She knew that she was choosing to pay more for the shampoos that she chose than I was because I kept my hair very, very short. Hers was almost waist length, and mine caused me to have dandruff, so I chose Head and Shoulders. During the summer, I actually switched to Selsun Blue, which is a more expensive one because it's almost prescription strength. But this also takes into account that there are makeups and other beauty products that men typically do not buy. I know no human males, and I have several gay friends. None of us wear makeup. I have worn makeup precisely 3 times in my life. The first, when I was around 9 years old in a church play that was being videotaped for the congregation to enjoy later on down the line in our church library's collection. So we had a lot of lights. So I was given some makeup, as actors are when they're going to be under heavy light. The second time was during high school, when I was actually part of a process to create a video project, and it had a lot of light. Now, that was a lot less because we were able to shoot under a lot of natural light and just augment it, but they would video for a short time with me just staring into a camera and then just dot my face with little bits here and there. The third time was another appearance under heavy lights when I was in a play during high school. You see a theme there. Basically, when I was considered an actor and when I would be performing under heavy light. And that is the only time that I know of any of my friends, male friends, have ever worn makeup. And even then, we didn't purchase it. It was purchased by the organization putting the program on. So I don't buy foundation, mascara, rouge, lipstick, any of that. So I would wonder if Miss Aloni took into consideration that women's beauty products include a lot of products men never buy because men don't use them by and large. But this is not the only example. We have the Pittsburgh pop up shop, charges men more than women. Pay what you're paid. That's the pricing model behind a new traveling pop up shop called Less Than 100, which seeks to shine a light on wage inequality. The inaugural Pittsburgh Outpost, launched by artist Elena Schlenker, has been charging men full price all month, but women paid just 76% of the price for all items, a number that reflects what the American Association of University Women, AAUW, reports is the average gender wage gap in Pennsylvania, where it says women on average earn 76% of what men earn. Clearly, 76 is really oversimplified, and when you look at profession, age, or race, it's worse or better, said Schlinker of the shop's pricing system. But this is something that we're discussing a lot in the store. Depending upon who you talk to, there are a lot of different opinions on what the impact of the wage gap can be. A Pennsylvania native who splits her time between Pittsburgh and her artist studio in Brooklyn, New York, Schlenker's inspiration for the shop was to create a space where the gender wage gap was tangible and could spark such dialogue. I was surprised by how many men who came in, who I thought might take issue with it, responded positively, and by talking about the women in their lives who had supported them, Schlenker said their experiences made them want to participate and support the project. So hearing those types of stories has been nice. Items in the shop range from $1 to $300, with a large number priced at less than 20. The stock includes original artwork and prints, ceramics, textiles, books, and magazines, personal care products, packaged food, and accessories. But what all have in common is that they are produced by local female artists. It was really important that this be a positive space, said Schlinker, who added that the timing of the pop up shop was meant to coincide with regional events that connected and empowered women. We offered scale building events, panels with small business owners, and I wanted to provide real tools and resources rather than just complaining that this is a problem and not really doing anything about it. I'm actually going to stop here because I have one more article I'm going to bring up, but this is another one where logic and actual research is being ignored. Now, this one does actually mention it, but Schlenker ignores it and just says the average is. And I'm actually going to get into that after this last one because this is actually the best article of the three. Vegan restaurant that charged men 18% more than women is closing its doors. A restaurant that declared it would charge men 18% more than women for the same service will close its doors at the end of the month. Handsome Her, a vegan cafe in the Melbourne suburb of Brunswick, will close its doors on April 28th, writing on Facebook that the two women responsible for running the business are off to meet our next adventure up north, where we will be doing some hands-on work, something we have missed sorely whilst being at 206 Sydney Road, Brunswick. There is no indication that the restaurant is closing as a result of charging men more than women, a policy that was implemented back when the restaurant opened and only applied 1 week a month. As the Sydney Herald reported in 2017, when Handsome Her made headlines for its charge men more policy, the cafe posted a chalkboard outside with 3 rules. House rules. Rule 1, women have priority seating. Rule 2, men will be charged an 18% premium to reflect the gender pay gap 2016, which is donated to a women's service. Rule 3, respect goes both ways, unless you're a man who wants to be seated or be charged the same as everyone who enters this restaurant. The question similarly arose as to how an establishment can claim to respect both genders when it is clearly discriminating against one. The wage gap in Australia, as in the US, comes not from discrimination, though that's not to say discrimination never happens, but from different choices men and women make in their careers. Women tend to go into lower paying fields or positions that offer more flexibility, leading to fewer hours worked. Women also tend to leave the workforce to have children. The wage gap does not compare the actual earnings of men and women working the exact same job, but the average earnings of men and women from across all jobs and industries. Yet activists like those at Handsome Her Cafe use the difference in average earnings to claim women are not treated equally in society or are undervalued. I'm going to leave this one here as well. You can come back and read this at your leisure. The issue is multifaceted. You walk into a business that we'll just say is a service industry business. Could be a hotel, could be a massage parlor, could be a restaurant, doesn't matter. And you randomly grab a male and female employee and ask their salaries, and lo and behold, you found out the male is making more. And you refuse to ask any more questions, and you refuse to listen when given more information, such as the man is the business owner, the woman is his employee, or the man has been there for 10 years and the woman is a new hire. What if the male is their uh, top producer? Say if you go into a restaurant and the man has been a waiter for all of 8 or 9 years and is the best in the location, whereas the woman works only one night a week and it's a weeknight, not a weekend, so she doesn't have the same crowds to make tips from. I've worked in a hotel, I've worked in a restaurant where I was waiting tables as well as delivery pizza. And I can tell you, aside from time and grade at the hotel or the restaurant where you earn promotions, men and women start at the exact same rate. I worked with several young ladies at the hotel I worked at, which was a 4-star hotel in North Texas. I was actually part of the pre-opening crew. When we all started the job, we all made the exact same amount per hour. I actually left to go back to school, came back at one point to work night audit a few months while going to school near them, and when I returned, I was making less than all but one female on the entire overnight staff, and that's only because she and I hired in at the exact same time. Waiting tables. I had several of the young ladies that could not work night shift that I worked with, and I would come in because I preferred to work the night shift. because, of course, that's when the people were there on the weekend, and it's also the only time I could work during the week due to my school schedule. So I would hear them as they were closing out at the end of their day, complaining that they only made $50 in tips on a Friday, or that they only made $65 in tips on a Saturday. Now, this was at Cracker Barrel, and you'll know that Cracker Barrel has really two crowds: breakfast and dinner. Breakfast is get in, get out. Very few people go to Cracker Barrel to socialize over breakfast. Now, yes, a lot of people go there and eat breakfast at all hours of the day, but when you're there early morning, you're starting your day. You want your breakfast and you want to go. Typically, the prices for breakfast are lower. You're drinking water or milk with it, so you're not being charged a lot there. So the average check, if I remember correctly, per person was about $10. So on average, $150 to $2 a person. And you wouldn't see a lot of people because people don't tend to go out for breakfast. We got a lot of businessmen who would leave 45 minutes early so they could eat and then get up into Fort Worth or Dallas for their job. And I can probably tell you a lot of these were single guys. Uh, Now, there is an exception. Sunday, right after church, you have a huge lunch rush. If you've been to any major restaurant Sunday around 12:30 to 1, there's a line. So we're going to leave Sunday out of the equation. I would come in on a Friday and I would hear them complaining they only made $65. I would leave, and I came into work at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock some Fridays, and I would leave at 11 to 11:30, normally with about $150 to $200. Now, is that because I'm male? No. It's because I served on average 3 times as many tables as she did. I served them dinner, which typically involves eating dessert. A lot of people have a salad as an appetizer, so the ticket prices, their checks, were more when I handed them out than hers were. This is an issue that if you find someone where some job where a man and a woman have the same education, the same time on the job, all of the same qualifications, the same performance reviews, everything is the same except gender. If you find one of those where the woman is paid less than the man, you have found a case of discrimination, which is wrong. But I very seriously doubt you'll find any of those. What you'll find is that women, like the article says, tend to go into different jobs because they need more flexibility, or they leave the workforce for a time to have children, or they get different degrees. I can tell you, if you look at a registered nurse versus a medical doctor, you're going to find a gap because the medical doctor spends 8 to 12, sometimes more years than that, in school to learn the trade, while as the RN spends a much shorter time. They do not do surgery, they do not actually counsel patients, and they don't do a lot of the things doctors do. But if you compare a female RN to a male LVN, the female RN will be making quite a bit more than the male. But all of this is anecdotal, and it's all unpopular opinion because it proves that places like the Philly pop-up shop, the pharmacy in New York, or this restaurant in Brunswick are just pulling a stunt to try to say men are horrible people. But I've talked about this long enough. Let me know what you think in the comments, and remember, as always, keep it civil. We don't learn from argument, we learn from debate. And as always, remember to like, comment, and share this video, and also to subscribe and activate notifications. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful day.